Zapple Records. Will Mr. Scruffles find Yoko Ono in time? He's searching through all these records and he doesn't know where Yoko is, but he knows she needs help. Mr. Scruffles, where is Yoko? Ike Frazier Industries presents another vinyl show with Ike Frazier. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Ike Frazier. We got a double for you today on Zapple Records about John and Yoko's second record, Life with the Lions, and George Harrison's second album, Electronic Sound. Now I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's a little bit long this time, but there's a lot of information to go over these two records, and it's a long story and involves a lot of famous people. I just want to say thank you because we got new subscribers again this week. You guys are really great. I appreciate all of you subscribing and all you viewers out there. And you just keep doing it, keep subscribing, tell your friends so we can do more of these because they're a lot of fun and I enjoy doing them for you. And I hope that you learn something every time. So today it's John and Yoko, Life with the Lions, and George Harrison, Electronic Sounds. Enjoy the video, and we know you made it this far. Mr. Scruffles really did try hard to find Yoko that day. And we thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on another vinyl show. Zapple Records. In 1966, Barry Miles decided to open up a bookstore with his partner, John Dunbar, who just so happened to date Marianne Faithfull. And they had a silent partner in Peter Asher, who was good, close friends with Paul McCartney, and the Indica Bookshop opened up and already had a hip reputation even before the doors opened. So the celebrities loved to go there, and one of the first big acts they got was Yoko Ono from New York City. Yoko at Indica. It was a big deal and everybody was excited about this American-Japanese artist coming to Indica. And so when Yoko arrived, Paul McCartney urged John to go check out Indica, and on November 7th, 1966...
So anyway, I finally got to this show, and she had all these things on, like all these like hammer nail things, and that clock there, you listen to it through a stethoscope, all the things. And at first I reacted like a mug, you know, like the ones that were saying they don't get a badge, you know. I was thinking, haha, don't fool me with all this junk, you know. So then there was this ladder and a thing on the ceiling. So I climbed the ladder, and on the ceiling it said, yes.
The ceiling,
you see, so I thought, oh, I agreed then. Mm-hmm. It's okay, you know. I mean, it's like those jokes, while you're looking at here, you're dribbling down your trousers, nothing. I mean, it's all sort of connected. I mean, people get a buzz out of that in the toilet, but if you put it on in a room, it upsets them a bit because they've got preconceived ideas about where those messages should be. But it said yes. And if it had said no, well, I would have carried on with my preconceived ideas about art and artists, you know, that they're all sort of, yeah, sure. But it said yes, and that was enough, you know. And then she came up and said, she didn't know who I was, and was saying, do you like to hammer a nail in? It's 5 shillings. So I said, I didn't have any money either, so I said, I'll hammer an imaginary nail in and give you an imaginary 5 shillings. And she agreed to that. She accepted that on the same basis as we accept her work, you know. I'd accepted her work, and that was how we met, actually.
And so naturally, when Apple Records started, some of the very first releases was George Harrison's Wonderwall, an experimental soundtrack to an experimental film, and John and Yoko's Unfinished Music Volume 1, Two Virgins. John said later that those should have been on Zapple instead of Apple, but Barry Miles didn't have the label ready yet, so they came out on Apple. Now, Barry Miles chose any artist that he wanted, whereas at Apple you had to have approval from one of the Beatles, be it John, Paul, George, or Ringo. One Beatle at least had to approve the new artist signed to Apple. But when Alan Klein came along and was signed on as just the business manager of Apple Records, he started for looking to ways to cut the costs. And though the Zapple label was started as a low-price label, none of Zapple's albums that ever came out were ever issued at a cheap price. They of course featured John Lennon and George Harrison, so those were sold at a full price. And Unfinished Music number 2, Zapple 1 or ST3357 in the United States, was released May 26 here in the US and May 9th. And the same goes for Electronic Sound, Zapple 2. And it was released May 9th in the UK and May 26th in 1969 in the US. Now, unreleased records, you have here listening to Richard Brodigan, and that was leased to Harvest Records. It never came out on Apple, but...
Yes, they've gone. We've had to switch microphones out here.
So here we see the front cover from Harvest Records and the label, but there is no mention of Apple. The next release was Lawrence Ferlinghetti, and he was a very notorious publisher and poet.
Cars into tunnels, dancers long gone under the hills.
Then we have Michael McClure.
There was the Joker. He was
poet.
the poker of the imagination, the first Loki, god of mischief and
The most exciting one to me was the Lenny Bruce live show from the UK. And
That's what capitalist system is. But communism is like one big phone company.
Barry Miles had to have a meeting, so he brought along Allen Ginsberg, who was going to record a record for Zapple, and they met with Alan Klein, and apparently Allen Ginsberg bedazzled Klein with language, and Klein had had enough of it, and he decided that Zapple Records was closed. Now, he did get John Lennon's approval, but that was it. So, Unfinished Music Volume 2, Life with the Lions, John and Yoko's second experimental album, which features their first ever live performance, Cambridge 1969, went to 174 in the pop charts and sold 60,000 copies, whereas the UK version of this on Zapple sold about 5,000 copies. Now, they both came with printed inner sleeves that have a blank one side and all the print on the other. This is the American Zapple label with the classic American label. Then you'll see the dark green label from the UK, and about 5,000 of those were sold in the UK, so it's a little bit harder to find one of the UK copies of Life with the Lions. Also in the UK, they have a rounded edge to their inner sleeve. This is the incredibly rare white label promo from Japan on red vinyl, and you very rarely see these. I'm not sure what the quantity is, but very rare. Ryko reissued most of John and Yoko's things in the 90s, and that's the CD of it right there that includes a couple of bonus tracks on it, and some of them are kind of wild, so they're definitely worth checking out, and these days you can get them pretty cheap. And this is the white vinyl reissue from Secretly Canadian, the Japanese version. Electronic Sounds, Zapple 2. Paul Beaver and Bernie Krause assisted George Harrison with recording Jackie Lomax's record in LA, showing off their new Moog synthesizer. And George Harrison procured some of those recordings, and they were a little perturbed about it. So if you look at early copies of the album, you will see Bernie Krause's name on the front cover, lightly spray painted in silver. Electronic Sounds did not do as well as Life with the Lions and went to 191 in the pop charts. It again has its own one-sided printed inner sleeve, and there's the American green label right there. And there's the half, as you see the shiny silver Zapple logo on top of the apple. This is the red vinyl white label promo from Japan, extremely rare. This is the Zapple stock copy on red Everclear vinyl from Japan. The 4-track, which is a dead format that didn't last very long because it was replaced by the 8-track, and that's about a 1973 8-track right there. And they released the Zoetrope, as I've been told it's called, which is a picture disc. When spun, the image moves around and creates some magical art for you, and that's a pretty cool way to get this record. They're limited edition on Dark Horse Records, and it's pretty cool. I would like to get one myself, but I have not got one yet. What are the values of all of these crazy Zapple records? Well, I tell you what, the very first Zapple record, Life with the Lions, you can get Life with the Lions for $50 still sealed. Now you can get an open copy probably for $20 to $30, but for a lot of people it's just a space keeper. The UK version is way more expensive, $284. The Japanese red vinyl, $994. The white vinyl goes for about $70 these days. Still pretty good deal on that one. The American version of Electronic Sounds goes for about $50 still sealed, and you can find those, pretty common, $20 to $30 for an open copy. But the UK version, $234 is the top price. The red vinyl promo from Japan, $272. The 2014 Dark Horse reissue on black vinyl, $15. And the Zoetrope goes for about stock price these days. What's the rarest Zapple LP? Well, it's Abbey Road, mistakenly pressed with the Zapple label in 1969. This is very rare, and there has to be more than just one of these, but it sold for an incredible $864. At the beginning, we saw Mr. Scruffles, and we dedicate this in a love and memory to that little dog. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.